Have you ever felt like your dreams were completely crushed? Like you hit rock bottom and there was no way out? Well, today we're diving into one of the most incredible comeback stories of all time, a real-life tale that feels straight out of a Hollywood movie. This is the story of Joseph, a man who went from a prison cell to the second most powerful position in the ancient world. So, who was Joseph? He was the favorite son of his father, Jacob. And his dad didn't hide it. He even gave Joseph this amazing, colorful coat. As you can imagine, this didn't go over well with his 10 older brothers. To make things worse, Joseph had these dreams. Not just any dreams, but dreams where his family, including his parents and brothers, were all bowing down to him. And he wasn't shy about sharing them. Big mistake. His brothers' jealousy turned into pure hatred. One day, when they were out in the fields, they saw their chance. They ganged up on Joseph, stripped him of his fancy coat, and threw him into a dry well. They were actually planning to leave him there to die, but then they saw a caravan of traders heading to Egypt. So, they decided to make a quick buck instead and sold their own brother into slavery for 20 pieces of silver. Can you imagine the betrayal? They went home, dipped his coat in goat's blood, and told their heartbroken father that a wild animal had killed him. Joseph's journey as a slave in Egypt begins in the house of Potiphar, a high-ranking official, captain of the Pharaoh's guard. But here's the thing about Joseph: despite everything, he was a hard worker and incredibly capable. Potiphar noticed this and soon put Joseph in charge of his entire household. Everything was going great, until trouble found him again. Potiphar's wife took an interest in Joseph, but he refused her advances. One day, she cornered him, and he literally ran away, leaving his cloak in her hand. Furious at the rejection, she falsely accused him of attacking her, using his cloak as evidence. Potiphar believed his wife and had Joseph thrown into prison. So, here he is again, betrayed, falsely accused, and now rotting in a dungeon. It seems like the end of the road. But even in prison, Joseph's character shines through. The prison warden saw his integrity and talent and put him in charge of the other prisoners. While there, he met two of Pharaoh's former servants, the royal cupbearer and the baker. Both had strange dreams, and Joseph, with what he believed was divine help, interpreted them. He told the cupbearer he'd be restored to his position in 3 days, and the baker that he'd be executed. And it happened exactly as he said. Joseph's only request to the cupbearer was, "Please, remember me when you get out and mention me to Pharaoh." But the cupbearer forgot. For 2 more long years, Joseph waited in that prison. Then, Pharaoh himself started having disturbing dreams. He dreamed of 7 fat cows being eaten by 7 skinny cows, and 7 healthy heads of grain being devoured by 7 withered ones. None of his magicians or wise men could figure it out. That's when the cupbearer finally remembered the young man in prison who had interpreted his dream perfectly. Joseph was immediately summoned from the dungeon. He stood before the most powerful man on earth and, giving credit to God, explained the dreams. He said they were a prophecy Egypt would have 7 years of incredible abundance, followed by 7 years of devastating famine. But he didn't just interpret the problem. He offered a solution. He advised Pharaoh to appoint a wise and discerning man to collect and store grain during the good years to prepare for the bad. Pharaoh was so impressed by Joseph's wisdom that he looked at him and said, "Can we find anyone like this man, one in whom is the Spirit of God?" In that moment, Pharaoh made an astonishing decision. He appointed Joseph, a former slave and prisoner, to be the prime minister of Egypt, second in command only to Pharaoh himself. He gave him his signet ring, fine linen robes, and a gold chain. At just 30 years old, Joseph was now in charge of saving an entire nation for 7 years. Joseph oversaw the storage of massive amounts of grain. And just as he predicted, the famine came. It was severe, not just in Egypt but in all the surrounding lands. People from all over came to Egypt to buy grain, because it was the only place that had any. And who do you think showed up one day, desperate for food? His 10 brothers. They came and bowed down before him, not recognizing the powerful Egyptian official as the little brother they had sold into slavery years ago. Their own prophecy, and Joseph's dream, was coming true. After testing them to see if they had changed, Joseph finally revealed himself. It's one of the most emotional scenes you can imagine. Instead of revenge, he offered forgiveness. He told them, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." He brought his entire family to Egypt, gave them the best land, and saved them from the famine. Joseph's story is a powerful reminder that even in our darkest moments, when we feel abandoned and forgotten, there can be a greater purpose at play. It's about resilience, forgiveness, and the incredible idea that what starts as a tragedy can be turned into a triumph. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as inspiring as I do, hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible true stories. See you next time.